It's the Ep04, Scott and Toby. We're talking On Children Season 1, and this is Episode 4, Peacock. It's going to be pretty spoiler heavy, so be warned. But if that's okay with you, continue on, and I'll see you on the other side. Toby, what is this On Children? What is this series? What is this episode? Oh, it's getting ridiculous. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
The definition of bonkers.
We
what is Peacock?
Oh, whatever it is, I don't think it's good, Toby.
Did you not?
This is episode 4 of On Children.
It is indeed.
Sort
of five. One more to go, Scott.
The anthology show we've been reviewing. If you made it this far, we don't really need to explain more.
No.
On Peacock.
Peacock.
Not on Peacock.
Just tired of saying it anymore.
Peacock,
On Children.
On Children. Episode 4 Peacock.
Okay, let's start here. Did you think the acting was good in this episode?
It was all right. I didn't hate it.
No, me neither. I thought it was all right. I thought they did their jobs well. I thought everybody was very believable. The Peacock was exceptionally good.
Oh God, yeah.
But no, of the actors, the real world actors, they were all really good.
Yeah, I guess the dynamic for just a chunk of it was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. The mother wasn't overtly evil.
For at least the half chunk I was talking about, where the dynamic was nice.
Yeah.
In this episode, the mum isn't off the bat.
No,
from the start,
not completely bonkers,
just overly.
Yeah, we've got. I'd argue that. Well, not argue. We have clearly got the other side. The other side. The class is what I'm talking about. You know, the sort of structures and wages and stuff like that. Like they're on the bread line. This family in this episode.
Yeah, I guess they feel
or
like
even below the bread line, even.
Yeah, I feel like they're on the verge, like they're middle class and they're out of money. Kind of their own fault, though.
Yeah, like both the mother and the father work exceptionally hard. Probably, I would say,
I guess,
of the 24 hours that are available to them, that they're working hard and they're doing it so that they can put their kids into good schools so that they won't have to work the same way that they're working. So their morals are in the right place and they're working hard. And it's not just about putting pressure on the children at this point, because the children aren't in the senior school, but they're hoping to put their kids through these high class, highly respected schools. One of them.
This one's not built into an exam like the previous 3. But,
no.
There's more of just a generalization in school, and this one I guess takes on more. The school has certain blames, like the government and the school.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So basically, we've got this. We've got this school. That is it. I would say it's run by the principal, who is under the whim of. Well, he wants to run a successful school. That's the bottom line. And it's in an area that I'm assuming is not massively successful, but judging by the family that are involved in wanting that or sending their daughter to this school. But for his school to be successful, he has struck up a deal with a peacock that lives in the cage, like a massive, gigantic bird cage on the school grounds. And this peacock can speak to you, your inner voice, your inner monologue. Basically, it's telepathic.
You've dropped a bombshell there, Toby, very nonchalantly.
Yeah, and it promises you it's like the 3 wishes genie.
It's basically the monkey's paw.
Yeah, it will promise you something in exchange for something from you.
Yeah,
and that could be
a trick wish, really.
Anything. So this principal is striking deals with this peacock, and some of these deals are, if you want your school to be successful, then I want you to have all the bags searched of the students before they go in. I want all the parents to sign a waiver that they will adhere to this list of rules for the school to be successful. And it's very controlling regimental, oppressive type setup. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's quite cultish.
Mm.
And actually, all the students kind of drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Very
if
much
that's
so.
sort of a social statement on a certain sector of kids who sort of muck in with a system that is broken, I suppose.
Yeah. So yeah, every morning the kids line up and have their bags checked. They go through metal detectors and scanners. All the parents agree to these very strict regimental rules. Like they can't play basketball, they can't play games during their break because that's study time. They can't talk, they can't bring their mobile phones. Just very controlling.
But the kids kind of love it, would you say?
I wouldn't say they love it.
Outside of our main character, I feel that's what I was saying. Like they drink the Kool-Aid. They just
there's no pushback on it. No, I wouldn't.
No
say
one
there's any
seems
pushback
unhappy. There seems later on where they start removing these rules.
Yes,
and the kids don't like it.
I think this comes back to the deal he struck up with the Peacock. The Peacock has made the students fall in line.
I don't really
because whenever a new student comes along, they're not, because they weren't part of that original bet or deal. They push against it, don't they? Like you found with the new girl. But basically, yes. So we have this school that is controlled by a principal that's controlled by a Peacock, and the student who's part of this not well-to-do, but sort of middling family that we've spoken about previously, comes into contact with the Peacock, and the Peacock makes a deal with her. What was the deal for? I can't remember.
Because
what the deal for.
Everyone else is rich. I don't know if this school is expensive.
That's right. Yes.
Or she just has expensive tastes, and this girl isn't. So I think she's just upset. Like all her friends have outside of
peer
school.
Pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And just
social acceptance.
To fit in. And so her birthday is coming up, and is there like a scene where it's like a homemade present and it's sweet, but it's a bit awkward?
Yeah, so everybody else is there's like a tradition that if someone's birthday or they give presents, and a lot of the presents that are given are bought handbags, like Gucci handbags and Rolex watches, that sort of thing. And this girl from this poor family has handmade a photo album of her friendship with this other girl. And it's a really, really well-made thing, and it goes down exceptionally well, surprisingly well, actually. I didn't expect it to go that way.
None of the other students are bitchy, which was kind of nice about this episode.
No, they were very, very sort of, that's amazing. This is, so, when's your birthday, blah, blah, blah.
Her birthday's like next week, right?
Yes, very
So I guess
soon.
the awkward thing is like, is everyone buying her a really expensive present when she isn't buying the expensive stuff? But that's when they say, let's go out for a meal.
Yeah, so they offer to take her to a French restaurant, but she can't afford.
Which is, your kid's probably too young for this. When you're out and about, do kids feel like they're doing more sophisticated things than maybe you or I would have done? Would you have eaten at Wagamama at 14? And I do feel like I, for example, see like 14, 15, 16-year-olds in like sushi bars and coffee bars, and I'm not necessarily sophisticated, but I don't know.
It's just a change of times. You're getting old, Scott.
But I mean, I'm there. But why are they there?
Because that's what the kids do nowadays.
So I've made it into the cool kid gang.
Yeah.
I'm on a separate table. But
yeah.
She just is sitting outside this peacock cage, like a school mascot, if you will. And the peacock just starts chatting to her. Do you think his voice fit?
The whole thing with the peacock was really bizarre, because the peacock doesn't actively speak. It just
there's no budget for
it's a bird in a cage, and it just looks about, and then there's just this voiceover of this like almost cackling.
Yeah, he winding them up, huh?
Yeah, jester witch type thing going on. It's very bizarre.
And quite sassy in a way.
Yeah.
You think you want some money? Instantly untrustable. I mean, if I'm going to trust a talking animal, this voice isn't going to lull me in.
No.
To be dishing out conditioned wishes.
No, 100% not.
Can you do the old wish for more wishes? Can I make a wish where my wish is for another wish without any continued contract clauses?
Well, you'll have to ask the peacock that, Scott. I very much doubt it. So this girl is having her lunch outside this peacock's cage, who starts talking to her and offers her the money she needs to be able to go and have this lunch.
It's
with her
very
friends.
unspecific. It wasn't the smartest move of her.
No, but he does. It's it's when she finally makes the deal. It's quite a substantial. I think it's a substantial amount of money. It's like a welly full of food that she finds on the doorstep.
Two shoes worth of money.
Yeah, so basically she strikes up this deal, and she does. You never know. She doesn't know, and at the time, what it is that the peacock's going to take. Though,
I'm going to take something
explicit with it
that I need that you don't need.
Yeah,
sort of.
And she's like, "Well, okay then."
Free money. I'm in.
Yeah. So she gets home. She finds all this money stuffed in some wellies outside the front door. She goes away to this French meal with her friends for her birthday. And then during this meal, the colour in her vision starts to drain out of the world. So she basically goes colourblind. And she returns back to the peacock, who's like fluffing up his feathers and look how beautiful, colourful I am. I've taken all your colour. And the problem is this girl previously was an esteemed artist. That was one of her skills, like her skill, basically, the thing that was going to get her into the high-class universities, put her through all these courses, and enable her to go to an esteemed place. And her parents were working double shifts to save up the money to enable them to pay for her to go to these esteemed schools. So by losing her perception of colour, she loses the ability to create the bespoke art that is required to gain her entrance into these esteemed schools. So her parents pay this money and she fails the exams, and the teacher's like, I can't let you on. I'm sorry, this isn't good enough.
Did you feel like they dealt with the losing of the colour vision well? It felt very weirdly throwaway. Like she never really panicked. She just sort of like a guilty kid trying to hide something bad she did. Was just trying to get out of doing the work. Yeah, it didn't quite have the gravitas.
Everything about this episode was very bizarre. It reminded me of the kittens in a box in its obscurity.
We sort of get these snapshots of the family. The dad is again very kind of witless and bumbling. Like I think he's
more involved though.
Yeah, he's there and he's working, but he does get fined like twice in 30 seconds.
Trying to dump this rubbish in a.
Is he illegally parking? And
he's illegally parked while trying to dump rubbish in a public bin.
I guess there's certainly it's going to blow your mind how much it's going to come out. We didn't really like this episode, but I'm going to compare it to Oscar-winning, well-received. What's the Korean film that picked up all the awards like last year?
Oh, Parasite.
I feel there's a lot of sort of social thing, like they couldn't throw their trash away. Yeah. Like I guess there's a certain like
because they couldn't afford the proper bin liners, the correct bin liners.
So the dad would sort of take the trash to work with him and sort of bin it publicly.
Or send it in with the kids.
Yeah, just give them trash dispersed subtly around the school. Yeah. I guess something like that in the backdrop was actually kind of nice. It doesn't really go into it in any way. It's just there. Yeah. And she has a little brother who is also they're trying to push into a nicer college, but
he wants to become he wants to become a sports. He's very fast, basically. He's quick on his feet, and he wants to go into a sports school, but the parents are like, no, that's not going to get you the esteemed.
I mean, I guess it's nice. The parents are like pro art with the daughter. Like I think we were talking last episode. It's normally seen as the sort of break from academic and the non-secure future.
Yeah, definitely.
A folly to serious.
Good word.
I don't know. Like the dad gets involved with the peacock.
Yes, he does. Well,
he gets involved with the peacock.
Basically, the peacock gets involved in everything at one point. So the daughter, I believe, the daughter then does the daughter make another deal with the peacock?
Yes. But that's to undo the boy's wish.
So she doesn't make another deal, but she goes back there, and the deal that the Peacock sets up is for her to bring the new girl to him.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the deals that he makes.
I guess it's spreading this.
Yeah.
You're caught in the web of a peacock because her dad gets involved.
He gets involved because he doesn't want his.
Oh, he wins the lottery.
Yeah.
The dad sort of like, well, I'm gonna have to lose. I don't know if the daughter flat out says, "Yo, you'll end up blind or without a leg or in a wheelchair if you deal with this peacock."
But doesn't he? He goes there to tell the peacock to back off his daughter, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So she's in trouble by this point because she gets quite messed up by the peacock, shall we say, towards the tail end of the episode. By this point, she's like growing feathers and her eyes are blinking over like.
Yeah, like so when she undoes the boy's wish, she has to. That's her wish.
What's the boy wish for?
I don't know. He doesn't want to go to the school. Am I right? So the dad's playing all this lottery, and so he can't. The boy can't get into the school because of the area they live in. So it's all about renting another apartment or buying a house in a whole different area just for the postcode change to get the kid into a better school. So there's this scene where they're just looking at a house in another area. And it just seems ludicrous that they're literally scrabbling for money to throw trash out. They're gonna, I guess they won the lottery, but again, they win the lottery and it never really comes into play after the initial point.
No,
like all of that winnings just kind of go away, and the lack of color vision kind of fades into, okay, we're just accepting that now and getting on with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if
there's the deal where they make up, I think it's the father or the daughter makes the deal with the peacock where they have to get all of the signed pieces of paper out of the office at the school that all the parents are signed to agree to adhere to all these rules that were put in place by the principal. They have to break into the school to get rid of all of those to undo. I honestly
just to undo the whole lot. No, like
I think it's
so
to undo
the
something.
dad makes a wish to win the lottery, and then the kid sneaks in and makes a wish to not go to that school. And then the sister finds out about the kid's wish because the dad gets into an accident and gets arrested, right? That's his sort of comeuppance. I think he loses his job. But he won the lottery.
And then the mother faints. She loses her job, I think, or is put on leave, so she's not earning money. So they all of a sudden are earning no money. They've got 2 flats.
But this is where I'm like, but didn't they win the lottery? Did they only win enough to rent the second flat and no more? Because these are high prices for not that much.
Yeah.
It's not like the girl was set for life with that cash in the boot. She could, have a bit of a splurge and never have vision again. But so that just in an attempt to undo all the wishes, they sort of have to, I don't know, break the spell of the school.
Yes. Yeah, reset the school back to her.
Maybe that's what the other girl, the friend's wish was. Because suddenly we go in and the metal detectors are gone and there's no searching. And the kids are like anti it. The kids are like, yo, we want to be searched.
Yeah, how do we know to trust everyone? And then they start doing their own metal detecting.
Just like a statement on, I guess, apathy. I don't know.
You've got the what's it? The girl that was the new girl that she had to bring along to the Peacock. She makes a deal to become the top of the class or something, doesn't she? Or she was the top of the class.
Oh, but it's the monkey's paw. So she's like, I want to become the smartest girl in the school. But the school just sort of becomes a school of dum-dums.
Yeah. So
like everyone else becomes like suddenly like first grade. Like they can't read or barely speak. I think that's right. Again, this episode does not dive into it. It just sort of shows, instead of showing like the school in a chaotic moment where everyone has just progressed 5 years, it's just one kid sort of suddenly learning to speak simple like flashcard words. So I might be totally wrong on all this. I think we maybe got this entire episode wrong. I don't know.
But then doesn't she? Her part of the bargain is to lose her ability to speak anything other than Peacock.
Yeah, so I guess everyone slowly starts to become a peacock because, like you said, the main girl
Starts growing feathers.
Her eyes go white, and I thought she just went blind.
But
no, she just is physically becoming a peacock. So I guess the family, like you said, they sort of heist into the school to break into some forms. I think it was just for his application. For the boys' application.
Yeah, but they broke in to get all of the signed documents.
I thought it was just the kids, the school boys.
No, it was the whole school. They want because without that signed agreement, nobody had any control over anything, and it reset the whole school in essence. That's what I understood it as.
But that's where it becomes a mess because the kids wanted to be under that control. Like it did. It's like
it had the opposite effect.
Technically, we don't need to, but everyone's gonna. You know what I mean? Like,
and this by doing this act of breaking into the school, the little boy, the daughter, and the father, they annoy the mother, and so the mother then gets involved with the peacock to reset everything.
This is where it gets flipping ridiculous, and it just like breaks. Even with this, I can get into like the monkey's paw of this episode, and
so tell us about the monkey's paw.
The monkey's paw, it's like I don't know. It's not Edgar Allan Poe or anything. It's, I don't know, 18th, 19th century, like horror story. And it's basically your classic, be careful what you wish for. It's like a destitute family, literally like come across a literal monkey's paw. And the guy selling it is like, I think it's 3, but I don't know if I'm going to mix up with Latin, maybe even 5. But basically for every finger on this paw, you can make a wish. And there's this sort of gruesome, like, the severed hand like curls a finger, and so like one wish is like, oh, I wish we had some more money, but then it's not as simple as, oh, here's just some money. It's like, oh, your parents have died, but they've left you some money, so there's sort of something to lose with everything to gain. And I think by the end it's like their son has died, and the mum sort of knowing the curse of the monkey's paw still like makes a wish for her son to be alive. And the husband, the dad is like, no. And, the son climbs out of his grave and it's like, oh, basically brought back a zombie, which no one wants.
Yeah.
So the monkey's paw is just an example of like, like the sneak wish. I'm sure there's loads. I think that's just, I don't know, like a classic example. I don't think it's Poe, but it's, I don't know. But so on Peacock, this is where the mum just goes mental. She's literally going, maybe our daughter becoming a peacock is okay if the son is successful.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
She's willing to sacrifice almost anything.
But on such an absurd level.
Yeah.
And like you said at the beginning, she just wants them to do well in a kind of support. Like, she's a bit pushy, but she's supportive. And you know what I mean? It was hard for me to buy into, as it were. It was just, why does the mum literally want her daughter to become a peacock? So her son.
Was she okay with this?
Yeah, like she just went
the whole
into
family
like
are screaming at her.
So I guess this is where family, the rest of the family, do all this stuff, and it's like, yo, we did it, and it's like, yeah, but that wasn't your wish. You can't undo someone else's wish or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking this family needs to walk out on the mum. You know what I mean? I know for some reason, despite the other 3 episodes and how horrible those mums were, this one was just like the most, not villainous, but just...
Yeah, it's just shallow, like completely...
I guess it's such a turnaround for her character.
Yeah, like, I guess, I don't know if the seeds were there. Like, it's because she did work all the hours God sent. She did like 3 jobs a day.
They were quite menial, no? Didn't she recycle like a plastic
pot
bags?
Washer and say again?
She like recycled plastic bags, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that montage was very weird, wasn't it?
They just take like a shopping carry bag and just fold it into like a nice, neat triangle.
Yeah.
And I guess sell them back. I don't quite
get
that.
That was it. And she'd like cook loads of rice and just freeze it.
I guess she's just found loads of mini side jobs you know, like, oh, you can get returning beer bottles for like, 15 cents a bottle. And she's just taken on loads of these tiny tasks as almost a full-time job, I suppose.
She is well-meaning from most of the episode until the end, when she just loses it.
And it just felt like the screenwriters just couldn't resist. Like we said last one of the weeks when I found that article, and the director the showrunner was all about like, this is about the pressure from mum specifically. So it's like they got to the end and they went, I thought I wanted the show to be about the pressure from mums. And it's like, yeah, I know, but you know, we can branch out a little and, you know, make it a bit more. No, this is a show. Follow the draft.
Yeah,
it's a show about pressure from mums. Okay, well, we filmed 80% of it, so that's fine. Make it about the mums.
Just do this. So, what is her fine? What is her? She makes 2 wishes, doesn't she? What is her first wish?
Toby,
I cannot remember. I can't remember either.
Is it just for the kid to get accepted into the school?
I think it might have been. And then the final wish is
to disappear.
She just walks into the cage with the peacock.
Yeah, it sort of ends with this emotional sort of pleading with the family for the mum, you know, just to chill out and come back down to earth. And she just doesn't. And so we just see security footage, I guess. She goes to the peacock and climbs in the cage, and the security guard is sort of racing to stop her. And when he gets there, she's gone. And
then the family just turn up. Then the next scene are just having food.
And everyone just kicks on with it.
Yeah, but at the cage, they're all sat around having a picnic outside the peacock cage, as if they know that that's where the mother is.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of the equivalent of like, you know, going to a grave with your family and just having a moment there, or like, you know, it's the last.
That's right, because the last place she was seen was on the security footage, so that they've made the connection, and they just sit there feeding her worms.
Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to imply she has become the peacock.
That's what I thought. That's what I took from that scene. Not that she's become the peacock, but she was consumed by the peacock. She gave herself for their well-being in the end.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're better off than when they started. Now they're just one.
Well, the girl's not a peacock anymore. She's not turning into a peacock. She's got no feathers. Her eyes have gone.
No, I know, but that wasn't the situation she was in when the episode started.
Yeah.
Which I guess
I think they've still got the lottery money.
I guess so. I don't know why.
The little kids in the school.
I'm not a fan of this episode.
I'm gathering that.
This was probably my least favorite episode.
It was.
Which is saying something, because it's been a pretty.
Did you find it a chore to watch?
Yes.
You did? Okay. So I found it easier to watch, but less enjoyable overall.
Oh, okay.
In reflecting back on it, I was just like, what a mess. Whereas when I was watching it, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is bonkers.
Yeah. Because by this stage, I was open to whatever's going to happen is going to be surreal and I guess satirical and stuff. So I could get on board with it, but it was just, I don't know, like it just seemed ill thought out. They've just had so many ideas that they refused to stop and focus on one. It was all crammed in without real focus on any one point they might have been trying to make.
Yeah.
And for me, there's so many unanswered questions. I mean, it might be a case of just going back through and just watching it and trying, like, looking for the answers to that, because maybe they're there. But it's Toby's shaking his head as in, hell no, I'm not going back through that. What was I don't think I picked up on any of the teacher making the wish with the peacock or knowing about the peacock. Was that explicitly said?
Yeah, there was the bit with the principal. He's seen talking to the peacock, and the peacock's got the gammy foot, and then the next shot, the foot's fine, and the principal's walking on stage with the limp.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But the school was in the enthrall way before that.
So he was constantly making deals with that peacock throughout the whole episode, because by the end he was being wheeled on in a sort of wheelchair, wasn't he? He was like a shadow of himself from the beginning.
This is probably an interminable episode for any listeners.
Yeah,
I do, now that you've said it, remember the peacock had a gammy foot, and then the principal made a wish. But I guess I didn't pick up that he'd been making wishes all along for this whole setup. It's that thing of I know they're trying to make a social comment, but what? So he had wishes and he was willing to sacrifice his health and well-being, but he still wanted to be a goddamn principal.
Yeah.
If I'm making wishes and I'm gonna lose the color, it's gonna be for something that I don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job anymore.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that I win a lottery, including a house on like a sort of tropical island, and I don't have to sort of come back to the wishes to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
there's a bit at the end as well where he's addressing the entire school, but the school's empty and it's just empty seats everywhere, and he's just sat up on stage by himself.
This is where the unanswered questions for me of who made what wish, and just explicitly tell me what that wish was, or what the consequence was.
It was very there was a lot of vagueness to the point where things happened and you weren't even sure why, how, if they happened. Like you say, that girl is suddenly reading from cards, or she's trying to teach herself to talk again, and all that's coming out is the peacock squawks. Yeah,
that's the stuff they never really follow up on. It's like they make the statement.
It's going to be, like you said, really difficult for listeners to unpick. Well, hopefully that reflects how we feel about the episode, because it really is a testament to how confusing and perplexing, utterly baffling.
I mean, I guess they're going for a more light-hearted episode. I feel like this one was trying to be comedy. It kind of fell flat. I don't know. All in all, fair, though, bit of a shit episode.
Yeah, no, it was a disaster. It was it's definitely the worst one I've seen so far.
I mean, like you said, the acting was okay. Nothing was horrible about it for sure, but nothing. I feel like the best of acting wasn't going to save this.
No, definitely not. Jeepers, it was a slog. Not going to lie.
I feel like we could just take that clip and apply it to the show at this stage. I guess it's sort of making me retrospectively like other episodes better.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're one episode to go, people.
Oh God!
ADAH is necessary.
Yes,
it's the name of the episode, and that will conclude. I mean, I don't know. I let us know if you've made it this far into the show, and you've made it this far into this podcast.
If you've enjoyed these podcasts, would be a good one.
Well, let me know if you enjoyed the show, because, like I said, it's rated really high. This show.
It would be really interesting to see what people thought of this episode, and whether they're on the same page as us, or whether we are completely missed it.
This one, I feel more sure than ever that I've missed out on either subtle or not so subtle details that could tie in these questions I have. But again, I don't feel like it matters. I feel like if I had this, I wouldn't go, oh, that's brilliant. It's like the end of Sixth Sense, where, oh my God, the ghost that makes a mildly boring film retrospectively exciting, knowing that he was a ghost all the time, knowing the answers to these questions.
Yeah,
are just going to make me go, oh, okay, not wow.
Yeah, completely agree. Every time I forget whether we've been reviewing these episodes, but this is definitely a 1, maybe a 1.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 1.
Shocking. Well, 1 episode left.
With that high energy ending,
yeah,
you better join us again next week, listeners.
Find out how we found that final episode, and like and subscribe.
I feel like we didn't quite get a grasp of it.
No,
but instead of figuring it out, we didn't care.
No.
So we'll do better next week. How about that, Toby? It's the final. So we're going to do a deep dive. No matter what happens, next episode is a deep dive.
Yeah, we'll go out with a bang.
Hey, we're going to wrap it up around there. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.